We haven't ended the first one.
We will see you on...
Go ahead and use your tagline that I liked so much last week.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and go shuck yourself. Should we change shirts for part 2?
No.
Keep the same shirt?
Yeah.
But act like a time has passed.
And I'm drinking the same...
the same lemon White Claw.
Lemon White Claw.
This is tomorrow now.
This is tomorrow. We're sponsored this week by White Claw.
Lemon flavored.
Gluten-free. And if you listen to last week's episode...
You know that gluten is Queet.
Gluten is Queet. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here, folks, on Corny Bois. Corny Bois, where you're interested in corn.
Get your corn content and your porn content.
Wait, really?
Why do they got this couch?
Is this casting call?
And the camera.
Oh.
Also, you heard it here, folks. He did name a company. Confirmed Aaron watches porn. We got him. We got him. You're a pervert. You're disgusting. That's somebody's daughter. That is someone's daughter.
Ladies and gentlemen,
nasty pig person.
I would like to point out that you also knew. If you know that I know, that means that you know. And I will say, that could be someone's daughter, but they're really trying their hardest to make it into the industry. Why do you think they're auditioning on the couch? How dare you?
I liked how 9 times out of 10 in those videos, it's like, this isn't going out anywhere, right? I mean, it's all fake. But they're like, if that was real, imagine, years from now. She's like, yeah, I didn't make it. No one ever called me back. And then she's like, that's me.
You know, what upsets me most about that, I've seen really good talent on those, but I never see them in anything else. So they don't actually get cast.
They weren't in Spider-Man.
They weren't in Spider-Man. And that, ladies and gentlemen, in the industry is what we call a segue. Nobody else at Corny Boys can go from casting calls, pornography, into Spider-Man
quicker than us. And I know Segway.
Nobody's quicker than us.
Segway, I can get there quicker than anybody else.
I mean, I am in and out in there in no time.
In no time flat.
Spider-Man.
Segway. I just want to make sure I make it clear, but it's not the riding vehicle. It's going from one topic to another smoothly. Because there's a riding vehicle called a Segway.
There is, and I'm not going to fact check you because I believe you.
You don't believe me?
No, I believe you. I believe you.
All right, listeners, if you know what a Segway is, call in.
Call it. Damn it, I don't want to go through this again. We should have someone call on our show.
You know what would be funny? What if someone called in while listening to another episode while we were filming an episode? And they're like, hey, I wanted to call in to talk about Doctor Strange. And I'm like, we're talking about Segways.
We're talking about electric vehicles.
So you know what a Segway is.
Oh, damn it.
We got him again, ladies and gentlemen.
Son of a bitch.
And guess what? We're going to get him a third time this episode when he realizes that Spider-Man No Way Home is a good movie.
It's not a bad movie. It's just an average movie.
But you think all the Marvel movies are average.
Not true. Infinity War is a good movie.
Okay. All right, well, let's explain why this one's a good movie. But first, let's just keep going. We're going to keep on trucking and making comments all the whole way there. He's like, I'm going to fix you guys. And it just so happens...
Fix you guys? What are you talking about?
When the bad guys are like, God, don't send us back to get killed by Spider-Man. And Tom Holland's like, I'm going to make you not evil.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's like, how are we going to do that? And Tom Holland's like, we have the magical fixing machine back at Happy's apartment. And they're like, oh, shit. So they go back there and they start just fixing things. And Norman... He has one of the funniest lines, and you would have hated it because it was a callback to the first Spider-Man.
Fan service.
Yeah, but I want you to know I almost cried in the audience. When they're talking, and Norman's like, wait, save us, help us. I can help you. I'm something of a scientist myself. I thought that was so funny because I quote that one all the time.
Yeah,
except I insert other words for scientist. Like when I say other things, I'm like, yeah. I'm something of a podcaster myself.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man, you're so good at podcasting.
I'm really good at comedy.
Yeah, can you not be as good? Because I'm a little self-conscious about how funny
The
you are.
best part of comedy is timing.
You said it was impressions earlier.
No, impressions is the highest form of comedy. But the most important part of comedy is your comedic timing. It's so good that we finish each other's
jam. That's a callback to episode 2.
That was a callback. 202. 200.
202.
This is 202 part 2. 202.2. 202.2.0. That's when we re-release this episode in 10 years.
We're going to be so big that people are going to be thirsty.
You should watch Spider-Man again. See if your feelings have changed.
This Spider-Man?
All of them. Would you say
No.
Spider-Man's the most popular Marvel character?
Yes.
Me too.
I would agree with that.
Because if it weren't for Spider-Man, I don't think superhero movies would be anything.
Completely agree. And growing up, I mean, you're more into the Marvel universe than I am, by far, obviously. I knew Spider-Man growing up as a kid. I didn't know Iron Man. I didn't know Thor.
Oh, I can tell you why.
names.
I can tell you why. I mean, we can save this for another episode, but I'm going to touch on it.
Yeah, touch on it. Lightly
Because you know when the Marvel Cinematic Universe started? At the time, those were like their B and C list characters.
Why do you think they did that? I don't understand the thought process. Why weren't they, we need to get...
They sold their movie rights. Every other all the A-list characters, the movie rights, which is why they still had Iron Man, Thor, because at the time, those weren't characters people cared about. But thanks to the Marvel movies, they are now A-list.
The fact that they were able to create such an amazing universe out of B-listers and C-listers is insane.
I can tell you crazy things about this Iron Man.
What do you mean, this Iron Man?
The first Iron Man movie?
The first one? You know, I've never seen it. We should do an episode where I watch it.
We should do an episode. You need to watch it.
About it. All right.
I'll talk about all the things that why this movie shouldn't have been what it was, and it's crazy.
All right, we'll do that.
But
we'll do that.
First, we got to talk about Spider-Man.
Spider Boob.
They have the magic machine that's like, hey, I'm gonna fix all your problems. Norman's like, I'm something of a scientist myself.
I'm something of a scientist. While you're drinking, I really like how we can see our thighs.
Oh,
in this.
I did not. I have some good thighs.
You got some very meaty thighs.
Yeah, and they're muscly too. Touch it. You want to
really
touch
girthy. I am not spanking the chicken this time. I'm spanking Macaulay's.
That's nice, right?
Thigh.
Right? You like that?
A little cow munch.
Anyway, Spider-Man. Sorry, we're getting a little intimate there. We were making a little casting couch moment.
Spider-Man No Way Home is brought to you by
Spider-Man.
It really
timing.
shows.
It's all about timing. See? You see my timing on that? That was really good.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So
they use the magic machine, and he's like, now, Doc Ock, you're Doc, not so mean anymore. And he's like, wow, I love everything.
Yeah, he's nice.
He's nice. And then Electro's like, yeah, you know what? Nah. I want to be evil.
I want to harness the sun.
And then, woo! One of my favorite parts about this movie is William Dafoe. Because he's incredible.
Agreed.
Because when the flip happens, I lost my mind. When he's like, that's some neat trick. I was like, oh shit.
Oh shit.
And then everyone's like, Norman? And he's like, Norman's on sabbatical, honey. And I was like, oh god! It's the goblin!
But you knew it was going to happen.
I knew it was going to happen, but I wasn't ready. And this is
We were ready.
Hollywood. If anyone from Hollywood is listening, drop everything you're doing.
Hollywood, go ahead and call in if you're listening.
Hollywood, call in. Drop everything you're doing. Make any Batman, any DC property, get Willem Dafoe as the Joker now.
Wow,
Instant.
that would be good.
Right?
I would see that.
Wouldn't he be incredible?
Mm-hmm.
He would be incredible.
I would see that.
Yeah, right?
But Willem Dafoe's an incredible actor.
He is. And everything he does. And you know what I really liked? They've done interviews where he like spoke and he was like, I'm doing like, you got me using your fillers. But he said, I'm only gonna do this. You have to let me do all my own scenes and stunts.
And Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Really?
He's like, I want to do it all. I still want to be doing it.
Good for him.
And so another like and then like chaos breaks out and they're all like, fuck you, Spider-Man. And Doc Ock disappears for a few hours and then just shows up at the end. But we'll get there.
I'm glad you realize it.
Yeah, they're like, where'd Doc Ock go? And he's like, I'm here.
Look at my eye.
Who do you think would win in a fight, Doc Ock or General Grievous from Star Wars? Because Doc Ock has six arms.
That's a great question.
Doc Ock has six arms.
General Grievous, does he have his lightsabers with him?
Well, as you know, he has a collection.
I do know. I'm very well aware of his collection.
Another one for my collection.
Another one for my collection.
Because for some reason, General Grievous has lung cancer.
Yeah,
in
as
the
a
movie.
robot.
Yeah. And anyway, they all leave, and then Green Goblin and Tom Holland proceed to throw down.
The throwdown, hoedown.
It's the hoedown, throwdown. But that was really good. That was really good. You really want to do a musical episode, don't you?
I've been waiting this whole time. It only took 200 episodes.
202.
202 for you.
202.2. Because this is 202.2.
202.0.
202.2.0. Yeah.
So, Doctor Strange.
No, Spider-Man. We're at Spider-Man this week. Doctor Strange was last week.
Doctor
Spider-Man. Doctor Spider.
Spider-Man. Where are we in this movie?
He and Norman are fighting for the first time, and Willem Dafoe is beating up Tom Holland. Like, just slamming him into the ground.
You know how average this movie is? I'm about to prove it to you right now.
Why?
Nobody cares about what happens from this moment on to the end.
I cared. I cared a lot.
Okay, sorry. That was just,
so
that
nobody's
was just
wrong.
Me.
Nobody was wrong. That was just you.
Anyway,
Idiot.
sorry. Dumbass.
Because things are about to happen.
Yeah, you
Stupid.
bring in all two Spider-Mans.
Something worse. They killed hot Aunt May.
Oh, yeah. Wait, she dies before all the other Spider-Men come in?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
This is a long freaking movie.
Because then he gets sad and depressed and he runs away.
I thought he was sad and depressed and then splooged his way up to meet Garfield at the top.
No, they come to meet him.
So they're already there.
Not yet. You didn't pay attention to this movie. Aunt May gets killed.
Yeah, which was sad.
And
she had to die. I was very happy that she died. It sounds weird, but she had to die.
Yeah. But you know what I like? You know what I was finally okay with? In, like, the original one, it's his aunt and uncle, and they're old enough to be his grandparents.
Yeah.
And I was always like, it's his aunt and uncle. Not grandma and grandpa.
Aunt, they just call him Aunt.
Maybe. But I noticed progressively throughout every Spider-Man franchise, Aunt May got younger and younger.
Have you read Spider-Man comics?
A few.
Is Aunt May...
Sometimes she's old.
Sometimes she's
Most
young?
of the time she's old. Okay. Most of the time she's
But sometimes she is young and hot?
I didn't read that one. I read the one where she's old. There's some weird Spider-Man comics out there.
Really?
Mm-hmm. You want to hear about some weird ones?
Yeah.
There's one where Mary Jane dies from Spider-Man's radioactive spider semen.
No way. That's in a comic?
That's a comic.
She died, like, giving birth from a child?
No, it's just like he's just been unprotected.
He splooged in her.
And radioactive spider
Pardon for
semen.
my harsh words, but he splooged in her.
And the
she
radioactive
died from
Spider-Man killed her. And there's one where, like, Harry Osborn dies of drug abuse.
How did these get through the publishing? How were they like, yeah, that checks out?
People needed to...
Like, oh, kids are going to be reading this? These are for kids? Yeah.
Guess how many kids stopped having unprotected sex after that comic release? So they did their job.
They were so.
You remember sex ed
scared.
class when they're like, if you ever even look at a girl, you're gonna get an STD.
You will get herpes.
They're like, if you've any sex, you're gonna get an STD. You're gonna get gonorrhea. And I was like, oh man, I don't want to get gonorrhea.
Oh, I looked at Sally Sue down the hall. I'm gonna get.
Now I have to get gonorrhea. Damn it.
Damn it.
And they were like, don't even think. If you're having sex, you're a bad child.
You will burn in hell.
I didn't go to that kind of school.
Oh, well, public school.
So a lot of people did, though. Some private school. I'm imagining they didn't do sex ed. They were just like,
Oh, yeah, no.
there is no
way,
such
right?
thing as sex.
They're like, what is sex?
Oh!
Seeks?
Sex?
Did you just say seeks?
Sex?
Psych?
What is that?
You want to psych me?
Like, how was I born? Through God's love.
What blows my mind about parents, like, they bone to have their kids. Why are they so like, no, you don't need to hear about. You don't need to
Because
hear
you
about.
don't want to have sex.
And you're like, but you guys were having sex. They're like, no.
You think your parents had sex?
I don't think they did.
Ever.
Don't think they ever have. Or will.
Mine didn't.
Really? For sure, for a fact.
It was a test tube baby.
That's weird because I've had sex with your mom. Oh!
She's dead. Not really, listener. She's not dead. But that could still work because, like I said, they've never had sex with each other.
Oh, that's true. I thought you meant when you said it could still work. I thought you were gonna say that I could still have sex with your dead mother. Anyway.
You heard it here, folks.
Back to
Weird Spider-Man comics. So yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of weird things. There's a bunch of weird comics in general. Like Iron Man. You know who Iron Man's biggest foe was at one point?
William?
No, alcoholism. There's a story where he's like, I gotta stop drinking so much.
I don't get comics, man. I always thought they were for kids, but every time you tell me about one, I'm like, that sounds like...
It's for
It
kids.
sounds intense.
Yeah, I was a kid. I was a cool kid. I was intense. I was sitting there having a midlife crisis. I was like, what if I kill a girl with my radioactive spider seed? I bet you didn't think about that when you were praying to be Spider-Man. You were like, oh, but the radioactive
Never
spider
crossed my
come.
mind.
Alright, back to this.
Yeah.
So Aunt May dies. That part was, I was like, oh shit. I was like, I'm not ready for that. She's like, Peter, I'm dead.
Peter, listen.
I'm dead. And then she did the classic, like, everything's fine. Holding her hand over her stomach. Everything's fine.
No, I'm fine.
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Let's just can we sit for a second? And he's like, yeah, let's sit. And he's like, you're bleeding. And you go, oh.
Oh, look, I didn't even know.
I couldn't even tell. It's fine. Room's getting really spinny. Can you stop spinning the room, please? And he's like,
Can you shut up, Aunt May?
Aunt May, you're dying. He goes, no. And everyone's like, that girl's bleeding out so much, and she still looks so hot.
It's like, my God, she's so hot.
And then
I didn't want her to go away because she was hot.
yeah, and then you're like, but she's gonna die.
We knew she was gonna die.
And then she died. And Tom Holland was very depressed and he ran away. And then Ned and MJ were like, shit! Where's Spider-Man?
Where you at?
But, are you ready?
No.
You're not ready. Because Ned went, I need to find Spider-Man, and waved his hands around. And who showed up?
How will I find Spider-Man? I don't know how to work this thing.
Who was it? Which one showed up? Who was it first?
Garfield.
And it's argued that Andrew Garfield was the better Spider-Man. And then when they were like, we're looking for our friend Peter. And then who showed up?
Freaking
Toby. Youth pastor looking Toby Maguire. Hey guys,
Oh, hey
what's
guys.
going on here?
I'm so
And
old.
they argued that he was the better Peter Parker. Genius writing. Yeah. Why don't you like getting put in your place, bitch? Timing
Timing is essential. What beautiful timing on that.
Yeah.
When you called me a bitch,
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming.
So you didn't like any like what if you went past how they got in the portals? Did you like the scenes
No.
with the? You didn't like when he just jumped up and was holding onto the ceiling. They're like, prove you're Spider-Man. Fucking prove it. And you didn't like that?
No.
How would you want him to prove it?
It was lazy. It was It was easy.
So
The writing in this movie
Listen, man.
was easy. They
you're not gonna want to hear
should
this.
be and have the ability. They are in Hollywood. They can be more creative than what they did.
Yeah.
I was so excited to see my favorite superhero Spider-Man in 3 different universes. I was so excited. And it was so lazy.
And this is the part that I've told you before that you don't want to hear anymore. Unfortunately, movies like that aren't made for you anymore.
But why? My question is why? Why
Because
can't you have both?
have studied film. Those movies are meant to get people's butts in seats. And it's like, the common person's like, hell yeah, they're through the portal, they're here.
I disagree. I think you're selling yourself and other Marvel fans short. I think it could be written better and more cleverly, and people still really enjoy it. So you can have the fan service, but also have like
So like you would have been more happy if they got there in a more creative way.
100%.
But how? I mean, what would you do?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it.
Like that's the problem.
The Ned stupid thing, that was stupid.
But now you can use that later on. For him.
I don't care.
Wow. You don't care about characters.
No, I don't care about him. And talk about character development. There is no character development in this movie.
Yeah, there is.
No.
Yes, there is.
No, there literally is no character development because they're all past characters who've already been established.
Yeah, but Doc Ock, who is redeemed technically at the end of Spider-Man 2, is now redeemed and is like, I'm going to go back and do good things. Norman, never redeemed, is now redeemed.
To be honest, I hated that story arc. I hated the fact they were trying to make all the villains good.
Why?
Villains aren't supposed to be good. Villains are villains for a reason.
But sometimes they have good intentions.
I think that's fine. Like Thanos, he has good intentions for him, but he's still
But that's the
horrible.
thing. These guys...
He's a villain for a reason.
Yeah.
We didn't go set up. They weren't like, you know what would fix Thanos? If we make him good and show him the good in humanity, and then all the world will be solved. That was Spider-Man's take.
Yeah, but he's a high schooler. He's a kid.
Well, exactly. So it came off as kiddish. It was like, that's stupid.
That's the thing.
It's
He
stupid.
is a kid. He's supposed to be this immature childish
Yes,
hero.
but we are not children. When the
But children
audience
are watching this.
The audience for, I mean, yes. Okay, so this is marketing, right? In films.
Mhm.
You try to hit 4 quadrants.
Yeah.
Men, women, adults, kids. That's why Disney is so successful, because they hit all 4 quadrants every single time.
Mm.
That's why Marvel's so successful. I don't know their demographic. I'm not obviously in their marketing meetings, but I would imagine the demographic is male, probably 18 and up. I don't think they're shooting for kids.
Really?
I don't think so.
No, I think they are.
Here's my point to that. Every Marvel movie I've seen recently, no kids. It's always our age people.
Oh, really? I've seen kids. When I've been.
But who's vast majority in there?
When are you going to
I'm
see?
not. I know.
When are you
kids
going to
seeing
see
it.
them though?
I know.
But
Kids
that's
are going
the
to see
thing.
it.
You saw Doctor Strange at 4:30 on a Monday.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Kids aren't going then.
But
I'm
when-
going on
when you-
opening nights.
When you go to packed out movie theaters, you're saying there's more kids than adults there?
Not more. I'd say it's fairly equal though.
Really?
Yeah.
I
But
could
here's
be
the
wrong.
thing with
I could
it.
be wrong.
Here's the thing with it. People like me, my age, that are like, oh, I'm going to all of them. I mean, I started when I was Iron Man. I was 13.
Right. And so my thinking would be, let's say if I was a producer in the MCU, my thinking would be, we got younger, like let's call them tweens. We got the tweens hooked.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's who we're seeing, the Iron Mans, the, Captain America, Thor, blah, blah, blah. I would think the writing would be get more sophisticated with that generation.
No, because the problem is you need to keep getting more and more people.
It's interesting. The fact that you're telling me this makes it more acceptable to me that this is going to sound really degrading, and I don't mean it harshly.
You heard your folks.
But these movies are becoming more and more childish to me. It sounds bad.
But you're getting older.
Right. And I think I'm mad. Not mad, but I'm like,
You're
they
mad-
should be keeping up with
You're mad
us.
that it's not growing with you.
But I guess if I was 8 years old, who cares about how a portal was created?
And that's the thing about it. You
Yeah,
gotta
just
think.
coming in to watch
Like,
And
the Pokemon TV show.
Yeah, that's
As an
that's a good
adult,
point.
I'm like, oh man, I wish this would be more mature, but I'm like, you still
Yeah.
want to keep the kids.
You've explained this very well to me, and I appreciate that. I'm now more accepting of the lack of story development if it's true that they're still catering towards the younger.
Yeah.
But then, but I guess to play devil's advocate with myself is they have the talent. Kids aren't going to care how perfectly crafted story is. They're not going to care.
No.
So they could do both. They could create really good story, and also fan service the hell out of it and make everybody happy. It's my argument.
Apply for a job as a writer.
I'm not that good.
Get better.
Those who can't do critique.
There's only one fix I'm making. Well, okay, there's a few fixes, but there's one big fix that I'm like, how was that not a home run? It was like pitched to you. It's when they get all the Spider-Man there, and they're like, how are we gonna find Peter? How are we gonna find our Peter?
Where's Peter?
Where's Peter? And the two of them go, well, is there a place he likes to go? Instantly, Ned and MJ should have been like, we don't know. And the two of them should have been, I know where he is. Uncle Ben's grave. Perfect. Because it's like Aunt May just died. He's going to go there.
Yeah.
Because this was like the original father figure for him.
Mm-hmm.
But they were like, nah, he's at the school that we showed you earlier in the movie. And I'm like, no! Put him at Uncle Ben's grave. Because then, what's on the tombstone? What's on the tombstone? What line?
Oh, with great power comes great responsibility. I would have liked that more. You're proving my point that they're missing the opportunity to create good story.
Listen. They're gonna miss some.
Why?
Because I'm not there. Because I'm not there to tell them what they should do. Because to me, I'm like, that was your. Because the Tom Holland Uncle Ben has barely been touched on. There was fan theories that like he was gonna look like Tobey Maguire, and so Tom was gonna be like, "You look like my Uncle Ben." It was gonna be this emotional moment. I'm glad they didn't do that.
That would be weird.
Yeah, that was the theory at one point.
I don't know. That would have been dumb. That makes no sense.
And then, hey, they missed there because, without a doubt, they should have gone to Uncle Ben's grave. We knew you'd be here. It's hard. We're here for you.
Yeah, that would have been a much better moment.
Mm-hmm. Powerful. But then they come down and they talk to him like, we're also Spider-Men. And that's when Andrew Garfield's like...
We too are Spider.
Andrew Garfield is explaining that, yeah, man, I got dark and stopped holding punches. And to me, I was like, that man has killed people.
It's so after this movie, I remember you telling me all this, which I didn't pick up on any of this.
Mm-hmm.
Because that didn't match up with who he was playing as a character. He was playing a goofy, silly, one-line zinger. So I wasn't thinking, oh, this is a
I think that was
like dark Spider-Man. I was
but
like,
to me,
this
it's
is
like
a fun, goofy guy.
But to me, it helped bring him back to seeing hope again. Was this? Because to me,
but I would have liked to have seen that arc. There was no arc. He was
that's
just
true.
like,
but
oh.
Is that what Sony's gonna do? Is Sony gonna make their own version where here he is before he gets brought to the multiverse?
I don't know if they're gonna make those movies. I would be shocked.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Have you seen the garbage that they've put out so far?
No.
The two Venom movies and Morbius
absolutely terrible.
Are horrible. Andrew Garfield will be the one thing that can save them.
I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna. I don't know if they would do that on a strategic level as far as them as a company. Because if I was Sony, I would not want to step on Marvel's toes. I realize this movie opened up the possibility of different universes.
Yeah.
But it's still Spider-Man.
He's Spider-Man. But that's the thing. They make references to Spider-Man in these movies.
I would also think that Marvel, Disney, would be doing everything they could not to have Sony do it. I know they don't have much of a legal way, but I would imagine they would be pulling out just like a politician, just doing everything they could to make sure that movie.
But that's the thing, like at this point, to me, the creation of this movie means it's a way that both of them can get what they want. they can both have a Spider-Man because they can say, Marvel, you have the Tom Holland Spider-Man. If you want to pull these other ones, take them.
But they're not. They're mega corporations.
They are.
They're not gonna say, "Oh, you can have this. I'll have this." They're trying to be
right
dominant and say.
But that's
no.
the thing. At any point, Sony could say, "You know what? It was fun. Can't do Tom Holland anymore."
But they signed off on 3 more, right?
They're gonna do another trilogy. Yeah.
Is it signed on or is it theorized?
I don't know.
What's happening?
Right now, it's like a confirmed thing, but you know, Disney also has had 50 different directors for the next Star Wars trilogy, so...
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, at one point, The Last Jedi director was going to do it. At one point, the Game of Thrones guys were going to do it.
That's a bad sign. What is going on with Disney? You would think they would iron this, especially for an IP like Star Wars.
Yeah. It's because they don't know what they want to do with it.
So dumb.
Back to Spider-Man.
I feel like we got a little bit more serious episode 2. Do you got any jokes to lighten our...
You like jokes?
I love jokes.
So now let's just start naming random Spider-Man that would have been funny had they come through.
I can't. Are they going to make a... This isn't funny. I want to stress it.
You want to do any jokes? Yeah, let's do jokes. Okay. Are they gonna? I can't wait. What's it gonna be? Say it.
No. This isn't a joke. It just got me thinking.
What are they gonna
of different types of Spider-Man.
What
are they gonna do what? Spider-Woman?
Spider-Woman?
Is that a?
Probably.
Is that a human?
Is that a human? No, women aren't humans.
That a character?
Women aren't humans.
What are they? That makes so much more sense now.
Yeah, they're beings. They're goddesses. I'm something of a feminist myself. Do you see? Earlier I said I like that line. I like that line because I replace it with other things.
This is why people talk about your comedy and they don't talk about my
you.
comedy.
Because to you a joke was, are they gonna put a woman in the spider suit? Are they gonna make it a woman? I hate women.
That wasn't a joke. Your question made me get there, and I was genuinely curious.
I'm sure they'll eventually put Spider-Woman in.
I would like the record to show that I love women.
A lot, actually.
Well, not too much. I don't cross any boundaries or lines.
Yeah, that's important to emphasize. Stress. Do you think any women that you've been with are going to come back and watch it and go, he's a liar?
He's a pig.
That Aaron Smithson is a pig.
If you think I'm a pig, go ahead and call in. Go ahead and call in.
Nobody's calling me.
Nobody's calling me, which means you heard it here.
Should I ask too?
No. God, no.
Do you think people would call in?
Yes.
Who?
Me.
Oh.
I'd be the first.
Okay. So, anybody that I've wronged out there, I apologize.
Wow, you're using this platform to apologize to the world.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I didn't realize we were that.
Do you want to apologize to anybody that you?
Yeah, to all our 20 listeners out in the world, and to the one in Mexico. Gracie asked for listening, and I want to apologize for.
Lo siento
for everything I've done.
The joke about Spider-Woman.
Again, it was not a joke.
Yeah, but they will make a Spider-Woman. But you know what movie you need to watch is Spider-Verse.
The animated. I would like to see that.
You need to watch that one. You'd like that one.
I heard that's good.
That has like all the... That's when I kind of... Part of me is like, are we going to do that with this one? I'm glad we stuck with the 3. I'm glad we didn't do like...
Well, you said you didn't really like that movie, right?
Spider-Verse? No, I like Spider-Verse.
Oh, you did like Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse was good. Good. It was tasty. Real tasty. I'm glad we didn't have Spider-Shrek.
Dude.
Shrek with a spider... Ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous like, U.S. president. You'd be like, I was Spider-Man in 1904. 1910. I was Spider-Man.
They should make a new Hamilton.
Spider-Man.
But he's...
Spider-Man.
Call
Lin-Manuel
Miranda.
You should have his number because you did the voices song for Hamilton last week. We talked about that.
No, Disney called me.
Disney called me. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. All our super fans are going to love that joke.
Teddy Roosevelt with Spider-Man.
I would get behind that.
With a Spider-Man mask.
Do you think if superheroes...
He still wears the monocle.
zipping around with one. Do you think if superheroes existed in our universe that they would show themselves?
They have really bad... Like, you'd clearly be able to tell who it is. Because, you know, it's blown my mind that no one in the DC universe understands glasses. Because they see Clark Kent and they're like, my God. That is just a cool glass. And, like, has he never dropped his glasses before? Like, oh, God, my glasses.
Oh, shit.
You look just like Superman.
Without glasses, you look exactly...
You know who you look like? Yeah, he drops the... Oh, no. He goes, do you know who you look like?
Like, put the glasses back on.
Do you,
no?
Do you get this often? You look just... And, like, when he goes to the eye doctor... I guess he wouldn't actually... He's a Kryptonian, so he wouldn't actually go to... Does he
never
go
explore that. I
to
don't
the
know.
dentist?
Does he go to the doctor?
Does he go to the doctor? So the glasses, are they fake? Like, are they just...
They're a fashion statement.
And he's like, how will people not recognize me? And he's like,
Who was in the writer's room for the comic that was like, how are we going to...
yeah, you're upset about portal hands. Meanwhile, someone's like, how will they know he's not Superman? He doesn't wear a mask. Oh, boy, do I have an idea for you. The other day, I came over to the eye doctor, and my wife said, I barely recognize you with those glasses on.
Damn, I don't even recognize you, Tony.
He went, I went, my God, this would be a killer disguise. Or it's a guy that had, you know, the fake glasses that had the little nose and mustache? That was the original idea. Like, what if he just wore a glass with the nose and mustache? And I'm like, that's going to be hard to draw. Let's just do glasses.
Well, they started it, and they're like, I just can't.
This is too much. This is just too much.
What about just put fucking glasses on them?
Well, we just put some damn glasses on him. Call it a day. Call it a day.
No one's going to notice.
No one's going to even know.
But
no one did.
The Corny boys noticed.
Well, I noticed. I was like...
And that's why we get paid to do this,
Yeah.
is to point out how clever we are.
We're really intelligent guys.
And honestly, I'm a little disappointed. We got funny, we got entertaining.
Never intelligent.
No
one said, you guys sound really smart and educated.
Yeah.
Now, you remember how we're talking about what we're going to fill this wall with next? Our degrees. Our master's degrees.
Just keep pointing to it.
And now all the listeners went, no fucking way.
Yeah, they're like, bullshit.
No fucking way. I don't believe that.
And fun fact, we do. We do, in fact. When I said Gilead the other podcast, I bet you don't think.
You wouldn't think that is a smart guy that you're looking at yourself.
I'm actually looking at you.
Really?
Yeah.
Can I look at you?
No, don't look at me. I'm
going to look at Groot.
I'm bashful. Groot,
hold the plate up.
Hold the plate. For our listeners, I'm...
we have a Groot here with a plate and the DVD. To prove that we do own the DVD, we should have watched it.
Do you think when people watch our YouTube video that they'll see like 3 views and they'll be like, I'm not even going to waste my time?
That's why I'm gonna buy 50,000 laptops and click.
You can buy viewers, right?
Can you?
That's what I do on my Instagram account.
Just buy viewers.
We'll just buy viewers.
Done. We don't even need y'all. We're just gonna buy bots. Spider-Man.
Can I jump to the end here?
Of the movie?
Yeah.
I guess.
You know what really made me mad?
What made you mad?
They were gonna kill Spider-Man.
Oh.
And I legitimately was thinking, yes, I don't want this to happen, but it makes sense. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
And then they set it up, and then the next moment we see him, he's like walking out, like joking around.
Yeah, I've been stabbed before.
No, I've done this before. Why would you have a scene of like a heartfelt dying, like the Aunt May dying scene, where you're assuming, and then they just go, nah, never mind. That ain't gonna happen.
It's fine.
Why set it up and don't...
Because they were like, oh, but what if we want to use them in the future?
Well, why set it up? Just don't even let it...
It was too late. They'd already written it, and Colin Fagini, Colin Fettuccine Alfredo over here, stepped into the Reddit and went, well, that's not going to do. What do you mean? He goes,
money.
We've got Toby on lockdown. He belongs to me. But, well, we already wrote it that he dies. He's been stabbed before. And it threw the script back on, and then they were like, write that down, write that in.
Why not? I just don't. Why set it up? They shouldn't have just set it. They shouldn't have set it up if they knew he wasn't going to die. A little tangent here. I saw a movie the other day called Molly's Game. You ever heard of it?
No.
It's a true story about a high stakes poker game. And
it's about Tobey Maguire.
It's about Tobey Maguire and how much of an asshole he is. I was reading an article that said he got mad one night. Now, obviously, hearsay. I don't know if this is true, but
Hearsay.
Somebody says that he wanted the girl who was hosting the games to bark like a seal for $1,000, like arr, and she wouldn't do it, and he got pissed and stormed out.
That's amazing.
Can you imagine getting so mad at someone for not barking like a seal?
But imagine that you're one of those popular, even though you haven't been, because you know a fun fact. You want to know the last movie Tobey Maguire was in before this?
Great Gatsby.
Boss Baby.
No
He was the voice in Boss Baby. And that was it. And one of my favorite things is how Andrew Garfield, hardworking actor, is trying to promote everything else he's doing.
Yeah.
And every interview, he's like, hey, I'm here to promote my new project. And it's just Jimmy Fallon going, but Andrew, are you in the new Spider-Man? And he goes, well, I'm actually here to talk about new. Yeah, but we don't fucking care.
We don't care about what else you're doing.
Oh, Indy? We don't fucking care. Are you in the new Spider-Man? And he flashed back to Colin Fettuccine Alfredo going, if you fucking tell anyone that you're in this movie,
Slams his hand again.
I'm gonna kill your whole family. And he goes, I'm not. And it's Andrew Garfield just lying to us for 2 years, and it's people just down, but he's like, I'm gonna be in Tick Tick Boom, and they were like, did you say Spider-Man No Way Home? They went, no, those words didn't leave my.
Tick Tick Boom. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
You heard it here, folks.
You heard it here first, folks. He's gonna be in Spider-Man, and they're like, here's photos of you, and it was like, I've never been there before in my life. But imagine, those two had to be, probably, they had to get picked up in, Canada to be driven to wherever they were filming this.
Yeah.
And they're like, nobody can see you. They probably had prosthetics on.
They had to dress up as a character.
They did,
they just put glasses on.
They had to be snuck into the red carpet premiere so that nobody knew.
Just put.
But it's just Andrew Garfield lying to us for a year, I've never been in Spider-Man.
Did, Toby... I refer to him as all actors as their first name because I'm.
Except last episode you referred to Andrew Garfield as Garfield.
yeah, forgot. He did. Did they ask him much? Did no one really?
No, because he didn't do any interviews because he hasn't done a movie since Boss
Toby
Baby.
Don't give a shit about nobody or anything, and I kind of like it.
You want that lifestyle?
Yeah, people talk about how much of an asshole he is, but I don't really care.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's a straight G.
Yeah.
I'm for it.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's an asshole.
Right. But unfortunately, for all you Tom Zendaya fans, Toby and Kirsten Dunst did date during those Spider-Man movies.
Really?
I think so.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, we were kids. We wouldn't have done that. And then Andrew and Emma Stone dated and they broke up. So unless
wait, are Tom and Zendaya dating?
Yeah.
I thought that was always rumored.
No, they're dating.
That means there's a chance for me because she's taller than him.
Yeah. You have it. There's hope.
Maybe when I was praying to God to be Spider-Man,
he did that.
He was thinking, "You won't be Spider-Man, but I'll let you date
a tall girl."
A tall girl.
So for all you tall girls out there,
call in. Please call in.
To Aaron.
Yeah, to me. Well, I just think I call you.
And then I'll give you the phone. But more fun antidotes.
Oh yeah.
Daredevil, Charlie Cox.
Who is Charlie Cox?
The actor that plays Daredevil in this movie.
Oh, that's his name.
Yeah.
You mean Matt Murdock?
Yeah, Matt Murdock. He went to one of the showings, when his scene came on.
Oh, yeah.
And he was, real excited. And, he had, a camera. I think he brought his wife. And he's they're about to... And, no one registered it. And it was just dead silent. And he's like...
That sucks. I feel so bad because that was one of my favorite cameos.
That was amazing. I lost my mind. I was like, that's the fucking guy! I didn't talk.
Yeah, were you the...
I wasn't... I got excited. I don't think I clapped ever, but I enjoyed it in my seat. Oh, my crowd, though. So the Daredevil showed up, someone went, yo!
Yo!
He was in the room.
You seeing this shit?
Yo! He wasn't. Daredevil was not seeing this shit because he's blind.
Oh,
Ooh,
too soon.
Got
Man.
him.
Too soon.
But oh no, there's one more thing I want to talk about.
What?
For sure. It's when they're consoling Tom Holland. They're like, "Hey man, you should. Sometimes when you're Spider-Man, bad things happen." And Andrew Garfield's like, "I murdered men in my universe." And then Toby goes, "And you always remember what Uncle Ben said." And then all three of them said it. With great power comes great responsibility. Even though in Andrew Garfield's universe, Uncle Ben never said that. Because they couldn't just say that, so Uncle Ben said some shit like, "Listen, when you're good at doing things, sometimes you're just obligated to help people out." Because that's what's on you. Is when you can help somebody out, you should, because of responsibility. Like he just had to say everything except the core line. So like,
why couldn't he say the line?
They just didn't. They just wouldn't do it. And so
the actor was like, "Can I boil
please
this
say-"
down to
and
one?"
they were like, "So you have to say this without saying this." And he's like, "So just change the words around." Like, no, it has to be a monologue of like 20 minutes of just nonsense. And he's like, "Okay." And he's like, "So when you do a thing and you should help somebody,
and you're really good at it."
And so when they were like, like Uncle Ben always said, I should. Andrew was like, "Yeah."
Yeah,
and then
he said that.
Then Tom and Toby were like, "With great power comes great responsibility." I used to love when Uncle Ben would say that. That was my favorite, that he used to say that. I love that. It was cool.
I should have called him out on it. Be like, "Oh, what does he say?"
Yeah, what is it? With responsibility. Yeah, but it's like,
how did they? Because it's different universes, they didn't know that they would say the same thing. That's kind of a stretch.
Yeah, but like you said, fan service.
Yeah, it's for
even though also it was never said in Andrew Garfield's universe. But Andrew Garfield was like, "Yeah, that's Ben used to say it to me all the time."
Every morning.
Every morning I'd wake up and he'd go, "Hey, with great power comes great responsibility."
He's like, "Don't."
Yeah, Ben.
You got it, Ben.
And then they're like, "All right, now we're gonna fight the bad guys." Which, oh wow, you want to know the most disappointing part of this movie?
What?
We had Doc-Ock. We had the Green Goblin. We had the Sandman. We had Electro. We had the Lizard. In the comics, do you know a villain team that he has to fight? It's called the Sinister Six.
Oh, yeah.
And we missed it by this much.
Or are they not allowed? Does Sony own the Sinister Six?
No, they could have done it. They just could have thrown another villain in there and been like, "We're somewhat of a sinister fellows ourselves."
Somewhat of a villain ourselves.
And to me, I'm like, what was James Franco doing that you couldn't have thrown him in there? What was Paul Giamatti's The Rhino doing that you couldn't have thrown him in there? What was the guy that is going to be the Scorpion and Tom Holland that you couldn't have thrown him in there?
I was always surprised that the Sandman, because to me he wasn't a huge villain.
Yeah, but
he was sort of an afterthought.
But everybody's like, "Oh, the Sandman from Spider-Man 3. But not Topher Grace's Venom from Spider-Man 3.
Didn't the Sandman play Tarzan or something in another movie? That actor? I don't know his name.
Didn't watch that Tarzan.
Okay.
He was in George of the Jungle.
George of the Jungle.
He wasn't George of the Jungle though, but he was in George of the Jungle. He's the in the first one. He's like the rich, snobby.
Oh
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tarzan.
I was close, man.
Close. George missed it by that much.
So Doctor Strange.
It's Spider-Man. Doctor Strange is.
No, I was gonna say.
Then Doctor Strange like
comes in and is like,
I have been
well,
waiting for hours.
What makes me most furious about this movie is I thought this movie was going to open the floodgates for Doctor Strange. Because the multiverse was going crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's happening. Okay, like this wasn't a great movie, but I see where this is going. And the Doctor Strange comes in and goes, bloop. Everything's back to normal.
It's not back to normal because nobody knows who Peter Parker is.
Yes, but I just thought it was going to be set up as the multiverse was chaotic.
Also, one kind of plot point. It's like now everybody is coming here who knows that Peter Parker's Spider-Man. Jamie Foxx's character never knew that Peter Parker was Spider-Man because when he finds out that Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, he went, "Man, I always hoped you were going to be black."
Wait, he says this in this movie?
Yeah. He's like, "I always thought Spider-Man was going to be black." And so it's like, wait, how did you get here? And it's just because they got Jamie Foxx.
Yes. I bet you if anybody else played, what's his name,
Electro.
they wouldn't have.
They'd be like, I don't want to do this movie.
But I mean, I like Jamie Foxx.
I like Jamie Foxx. And then, but no, the fight again with Norman, it was this dilemma of like, this guy killed my aunt. I want to murder. And to me, like, I felt how strong Spider-Man could be. Because again, there was points where I was like, he is punching to murder this man.
Yeah.
But then Toby was like, hey, you good with that youth pastor energy. He's like, you better quit.
Okay, so that was fun. I didn't like the jokes throughout that whole point.
You didn't like their banter?
That's what Andrew Garfield, I didn't like his character. I know that most fans did, but I didn't like how goofy he was. To me, it didn't call for goofy moments, and it felt really forced. But like, especially in the
he redeemed us. He saved MJ. He didn't let her die.
Yeah,
he didn't let her neck break.
It was just too on the nose.
He should have let her neck break.
No, but like you could see it from a mile away. You're like, he's gonna save.
Yeah, no, everybody knew that it was gonna happen.
I just don't.
Everybody wanted it to happen. That's how you redeem.
I don't understand.
That's how you redeem a character.
I don't understand the mindset going into these Marvel movies, wanting it to happen, and then it happens, and then you go, yeah, that happened. That was so on the nose. It was exactly what.
So it's kind of like whenever...
Which I realized just contradicted myself if I wanted the world to be a disaster.
Yeah.
I get that.
It's kind of like when Tom Brady goes to the Super Bowl and we all know he's going to win. But then he does it, you're like, yeah, he did it. So like, again, since it's also scripted, we all know that, Tom Brady's going to win again. I wonder what they're going to do when they lose him as the main character of the NFL.
They almost did.
Yeah, I know. Well, that was just a seasonal dilemma.
That was Well, we're going to cover sports in our episode.
I love sports.
Sports edition, Marvel Sport. There should be a football game in a Marvel universe where we just watch the entire football game.
Yeah. Yeah, you got me. That sounds dope.
You're staring at me for a long time. I don't know if you missed what I said.
Are we watching a football game? We're watching a football game, but we're in the Marvel. So like behind us, Spider-Man just swings by at some point. We're just like, I think the Titans could go all the way. In the Dark Knight
trilogy, we dabbled in
some
football world.
They were like, one guy was like, I just returned that punt. That was my first punt return. He turns around, he's like, and the fucking field's gone.
And the fucking
field's gone. And
Damn it.
And then there's some boys singing, and Ben goes, that's an awfully beautiful voice. And I'm like, how does he know that that's a beautiful voice? Oh, you're a beautiful singing voice. Oh, you have such a lovely voice. Speaking of Tom Hardy, the Venom scene, where they were like,
at the very end.
Yeah, where he was like, and now I'm gone. And there's a little bit of black goo that's like, and you're like, oh, so Tom Holland's gonna have a little black suit. The viewers that know Spider-Man facts, they know what's going on.
Oh man, yeah.
And so we're getting a new trilogy, and that was...
So I don't understand how they're going to introduce Venom if he's a Sony property. And
the black suit's gonna... The little goop is gonna attach onto him. Tom Holland.
Right, but that would be Venom.
No, he's gonna be black suit Spider-Man.
Oh, there's a difference?
Yeah. And then he's gonna be like, I don't want you anymore, black suit Spider-Man.
Oh, it's like...
and then like in the Spider-Man 3, there's gonna be a guy and he's gonna be like, I want you, black suit. And he's gonna wear his
I don't want black suit Tom Holland.
Oh, we're getting it because the end of this movie.
Yeah, they set it up. I thought they were setting up Venom, but I know.
So, well, eventually Venom will come from that.
But they're going to have to work it out with Sony.
No, they'll let him. They're going to be like, use it. We've already got our bad...
Are they going to bring Tom Holland? Or
Hardy?
Hardy?
No, probably not.
So we'll just recap different universe.
Because again, Tom Hardy is a grown-ass man. And granted, Willem Dafoe was also an old-ass man. But I don't think they want Tom Hardy trying to beat up a child.
Willem Dafoe died, right?
No, he went back to his universe.
Oh, he didn't die?
Uh-uh.
What villain died?
None of them. They all went.
That's so dumb.
They all went
So they all went back to the universe as good people? Does that mean Doc Ock is going to die when he's good?
I don't know. I didn't go back with them.
That's so dumb. I hate that whole plot line.
I stayed in this universe and watched the rest of the Spider-Man movie. But here's why I like how it ended. Here's why I like the ending. One of the complaints I had about this Spider-Man was that from the very beginning of his introduction, Tony Stark knew exactly who he was. He had all the Avengers and was friends with them and was like, I have all this cool tech. It never felt like this Spider-Man that had to juggle, like, how am I going to pay my rent? How am I going to be a student? How am I going to be a functioning individual and stuff? Because, like, a little bit like when he went to school, but, like, there was never a point where I was like, oh, no, you're not going to pay your rent this month. Because at any point, Tony Stark would be like, yeah, I'll just pay your rent. So now, like, he really is, like, this really, like, dirt poor superhero that's like, I don't have the resources that, like, the Avengers have.
Yeah. So
And it goes with his new suit, even. Because that was the other thing, like, his suits from Spider-Man from Spider-Man Homecoming until he does the homemade suit again, it's like, your suit can do so much.
I just hope they don't CGI the new suit. I want it to be not
rubbery. You
I
want that
want it
latex?
to be a tight latex.
You like latex? So you got another thing going on here. You have a kink. That's called a kink.
Oh.
Yeah. But no, and I liked it. I liked his new suit, and I liked it felt more like Spider-Man-y. Like, all right, I'm the neighborhood hero. Like, I'm gonna be the smart mouth kid. I'm gonna be my own person.
Here's my hope, because I did like how it ended. I was very glad Mary or MJ and Ned didn't. I liked all that because that's how it should have ended. I hope in the next trilogy or whatever they're calling it, it's more not gritty, but a more. This is gonna sound lame, but a more mature Spider-Man. I guess because to me the original trilogy is a more mature Spider-Man. I don't want to see. I don't know. I just hope they.
I'll explain you what the next trilogy is going to be.
Okay.
I'll run it through.
Can I make a prediction?
Yeah.
I think in the first 20 minutes of the first one, MJ and Ned are going to. He'll find a way to make them realize who he was.
Nope. Because here's my one other complaint.
Nope.
about these. In Spider-Man Homecoming, MJ was just kind of there. And then instantly, Spider-Man Far From Home, he's like, I like MJ.
Yeah, she became a huge character.
I'm somewhat of a romance fan.
You want to see it?
And I want to see the brewing, right? I want to see, like, maybe not. Because, like, I felt like in Homecoming, we never got that. We got, we
absolutely did.
Yeah. And so I'm like, I want to see, like, the romance bud. And I think this new trilogy can do that because she doesn't know who this man is. And so it gives him a chance that he's going to, I'm the one that, you work at that coffee shop. And then it can bud the romance.
So you don't think that Ned or MJ will ever...
I think, like... I don't think it's going to be the first one. I think, here's what I think. Ned is also going to fall in love with MJ. Because in the comics, Ned is a bad guy.
What? Spoilers?
Yeah, he's the Hobgoblin. And recently...
Hobgoblin?
Yeah, the Hobgoblin.
What is that?
He's a Hobgoblin. You want to see a little pic?
The Hobgoblin. Hobgoblin. What a ridiculous name. The Hobgobbler.
The Hobgoblin. There he is.
Wow. So he replaces the Green Goblin?
Yeah. And so
I'm going to be honest, Ned is way too fat.
He lost a lot of weight.
Oh, really?
There was a thing where everyone was like, he's going to turn... And they bring it up because Ned asked Andrew and Toby, do you have a best friend in your universe? And they both said, yeah, he died because we fought. And Ned is like, tells Tom, I promise I'll never turn into a supervillain. And he's the Hobgoblin.
Yeah, so they're for sure set.
So I think because that actor lost a bunch of weight, and so everyone was like, he's gonna turn evil in this movie.
Mm.
And at one point, he picks up a crossbow, and I think his character uses a crossbow sometimes.
Oh, so they're definitely setting him up.
Because I think...
Do you think he'll remain a villain? Do you think he'll die?
I don't know.
Do you think that they will come to a realization and remember all the past stuff?
I don't know. Because here's what I think. Ned's going to be in love with her. But I think at the end of the first movie, somehow something's going to happen. And MJ's going to remember everything.
And fall in love with.
And then be like, it was you.
Tom.
Like, even after everything that happened, I forgot who you were. Like, you still were there for me for everything.
So
and Ned's going to be like, fuck that guy.
So Ned's not going to be a villain in the first movie, do you think? Second?
Yeah. But Black Suit introduced first movie. Tom's going to be like, oh no, Black Suit. It's going to get away. It's going to go crawl to somebody else. End credit scene. We meet a little boy, Miles Morales.
Who's that?
He's another Spider-Man, but he is African American.
Oh, is he the video game one?
Yeah. Second movie, something's gonna happen. He's gonna get bit, and Tom's gonna be like, "Oh my god, another Spider-Man." And then third movie, something's gonna happen. Tom's gonna die. Miles Morales is gonna be the new Spider-Man.
Oh, you think Tom's gonna die?
Oh yeah, they're gonna kill him.
So you think they're gonna hand it off to
Miles Morales or like another Spider person?
Huh? And then just make more movies.
Yeah. And that's the thing why Marvel could honestly go forever, because when a character dies, they're just like, oh, now this character found the Iron Man suit. He's gonna wear it.
I just wish they would go deeper in the catalog. Now, I take that back. I love Spider-Man, so I will see Spider-Man as long as they make them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Spider-Man No Way Home.
Spider-Man No Way Home. There's no way home.
There is no way home for Spidey Boob.
But we've talked about it. We've shared our thoughts. But let me just add. I'm gonna add little tidbits.
Yeah,
please. You didn't appreciate the movie. I don't know if you got it when Tobey Maguire was like, yeah, there's this thing with my back. Did you know that he almost wasn't Spider-Man in Spider-Man 2 due to a back injury?
Really?
Jake Gyllenhaal was almost Spider-Man in Spider-Man 2.
Really?
And so that was a callback when he's like, yeah, there's this thing with my back. It's a callback to like, he was almost not in these movies.
See, I hate that so much. I find it very interesting, but I hate the fact that they put it in the film.
Yeah.
Because it's like breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Oh, it was funny. And then like they're talking about, I fought aliens in space, and then that's also why I think...
Tom was saying this.
Yeah, I fought aliens, and then Toby was like, I fought an alien, but he was black sludge. It was Venom.
Oh, Venom.
And then Andrew's like, I want to fight an alien. That's why I think Andrew's going to be in the Venom universe, because they were like, oh man, I want to have more cool adventures. Which one?
I would like to see him murder people.
And that's my thing. I want to see that. And I think the thing you want, that's why I think Sony should do that demographic.
Yeah.
Because they wanted Venom to be this isn't your mom's superhero movie. This is for adults. And then I was like, this is so bad. But I'm like, if you put Andrew Garfield in that universe and have like Disney, keep Tom, you keep that demographic of like the family friendly. We're gonna make the dark. I'm Spider-Man. I killed people, and now maybe I'm trying to change my ways, but now I'm already kind of labeled this bad person.
I'm just worried that they're ruining it like they did Venom and
everything else.
Morbius. I mean, I have
Morbius.
I haven't seen any of them, but I've just heard.
Morbius is terrible. Morbius is probably one of the worst.
You also hate Jared Leto.
I despise. Jared Leto needs to go back to singing for 30 seconds from Mars.
That's not true. He was in a series I watched recently called We Crashed. It's a true story. It's very good. And he does a really great job with.
Does he?
Anne Hathaway.
Oh really?
Great series.
You know what he does?
You know he's 50.
I did not know that by looking at him. No.
He's 50 years old.
That's incredible.
I'm pretty sure he's a vampire. Yeah, I think he
like
is
Morbius.
Yeah.
I believe it. He is weird and creepy like Morbius.
Yeah, he does weird things.
Yeah. We'll talk about one day about all the things he did during the filming of Suicide Squad.
Oh. I never saw it, but I don't care.
Well, you should hear about things he did. It's bad.
I've heard the comments.
Jared Leto. We're going to have a Jared Leto episode where I'm going to proceed to talk for 4 hours on why I hate Jared Leto.
And we'll bring him on the show.
We'll invite him on. Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
If you're interested, what are you doing next Monday?
Will you at him on our Instagram? At Jared Leto?
I don't follow him. I refuse to follow him on any. Can one of you listeners at Jared Leto and send this to him?
Be looking out for our new TikTok.
Do you think you could beat up Jared Leto in a fight?
Me?
Yeah.
No, he would destroy
You think so?
Have you seen him?
Just because he's works
ripped.
out. I'm not scared of
And
him.
he's 50. He knows.
I'm not scared of him.
He would hurt my feelings with all his worldly wisdom, and then
He doesn't have any
fight me.
worldly wisdom. He'd sing to me and I'd be like, just keep doing that.
We were the kings and queens of promise. That's one of their songs.
Yeah. He needs to go back to doing that.
Nah, dude, he's a good actor.
Oh.
He's a good actor.
So-
He just takes it too far.
I'm glad that you have now lost all credibility when you
No.
said Spider-Man No Way Home wasn't any good. And you heard it here first, folks. Aaron's favorite actor is Jared Leto.
He's not my favorite
Specifically
actor.
for
Not my
Morbius and
favorite actor,
Suicide
but he is
Squad.
a good actor. You have to hand it to him. He's a good actor. I never saw him in Suicide Squad, so I don't know. Does he take things too far with his method acting? Yes, I think it's all BS, but he's a good actor at the end of the day. He and Anne Hathaway and We Crashed was wonderful. You should watch it.
I'm
Apple
glad
TV,
that
give it a
we
watch.
ended this episode with Aaron saying the most atrocious thing. Is there anything else we want to say? Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
There's just a few more things I want to say.
Oh yeah, sorry.
You're not going to agree with me. I don't know. I don't know if we'd ever get another movie like this.
What do you mean? This many cameos?
Not cameos, but like, to me, take like other Marvel movies, for instance. They've tried Fantastic Four twice as well.
Yeah.
If they brought back the cast of like the first set, I'd be like, okay, kind of cool. But if they brought back the second set, I'd be like, that was so garbage. But my argument is, these two other series needed to do well enough to get a fan base, to get people to care. Because the thing, if the Tobey Maguire movies were all just terrible, and both Andrew Garfield movies were terrible, no one would have cared. They're like, it's the guy that was in those really bad Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Spider-Man 3 wasn't good. So that's the thing. They needed to do well enough to get a fan base, but in a way, they needed to fail for this to happen. Because had Spider-Man 3 done well, again, they were writing Spider-Man 4.
Yeah.
There's like story art. Like there was a plan to make that movie. But because 3 failed, they didn't do it. Sony, even this Andrew Garfield, even more so, had Amazing Spider-Man 2 done well. Sony was announcing everything. Sony was like, we're making a Sinister Six movie for each member's getting a movie. We're making the Black Cat movie. We're making a Silver State. We're making Aunt May the movie. Sony was announcing all these ridiculous things.
Mm.
But it didn't succeed. And so again, that one had to fail for Marvel to get a crack at it. And so the thing is, again, had they all been terrible, no one would have cared. It's like the Fantastic Four thing. Like, had they put the guy from the original Fantastic Four in Multiverse of Madness, people would have been like, okay, but you wouldn't have gotten the reaction. Tobey Maguire's like your favorite Spider-Man. And so it's because you liked that character. But again, had all 3 of those movies done well, we never would have gotten this. So in a way, it's like it's a series that needed to both do well and fail twice to get here.
I agree with you. I think a movie like this doesn't have the potential, but that's why I was so let down by it. Because they had a 1 in a million perfect storm chance to get it right, and there was so much potential, and they decided just to go the easy way, and it was very disappointing. Because I agree, everything you just said, I 100% agree with. But their execution was so disappointing on how they did it.
I think it would have been better had they been given more time. I think the problem was they were told this has to come out on this date.
You're right, which makes sense.
And I think that's the problem that they're stuck in now is they've released this slate of this movie comes out now, this movie comes out now, mystery movie comes out this date, and it's like with everything so scheduled, it's like it's kind of like the whole Star Wars thing with like George Lucas. It's like, oh, I have to make this movie immediately.
Right. Well, what I kind of think of it as is like an assembly line with cars.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can mass produce these things, and they're fine cars. Just trim out. But you don't get into like the classic and the like nuances of like hand built, which you
because we're
indie world. But
we're at a point where like you're getting a Marvel thing every 2-3 months.
They're churning these bad boys out.
But and that's the thing about it. Like as a Marvel fan, it's like because like Moon Knight, I was like, oh, I'm ready to see Moon Knight. Doctor Strange, oh, I'm ready to see this. But then I watched Moon Knight, I was like, that really wasn't.
That wasn't great.
So to me, it's like almost. Would I have rather waited a year longer just for it to be? And that's the thing, like even looking back to like some of the original Marvel movies, Iron Man, I like that one. Iron Man 2, not very well received. I enjoyed it. I don't like the Incredible Hulk, but I don't like Thor. But like there was some that's like take like Avengers: Age of Ultron. Guardians of the Galaxy came out the August before, and we didn't get Age of Ultron until May, which means we went that whole period without a Marvel thing. And to me, that helped build up the anticipation of like, yes, it's coming. But
so they might have fallen into the trap of thinking we need to get these out as soon as possible to keep people engaged versus let's take time and think about
more
what
things
we're doing. But
because maybe if you took more time, but now that's also the trap. Do you fall in? Do you fall into? Are people gonna stop caring if I have to wait a year for it? I'm gonna fall off. But now I feel like you fall into the trap of it's all coming out so much that people are like, oh. Yeah, I didn't do Moon Knight. Is that important?
Yeah.
That I need to... Because people will ask, like, Moon Knight, do I need to do that one? Or do I not? And they'll ask about other random series. They're like, is the Hawkeye one, do I watch that one? Or does that one matter?
Well, I ask you all the time.
Yeah.
Should I watch it? Do I need to watch this to keep...
Yeah, and that's the thing.
That's the exact reason I watched WandaVision, is because y'all told me it's going to be important to Strange. Mm-hmm. So I said, all right, well, I'll sit down and watch it. Which I enjoyed WandaVision. And
that's the thing. I think now... I think people are falling into the trap of people care more now about, all right, I'm really just here to see the end credit scene.
Yeah.
I'm really here to see just what's next. Rather than, I'm here to see this film. Because, Moon Knight, eventually by the last episode, I didn't really care anymore. I was like, I don't care what happens in the show. And that doesn't happen to me a lot of these. I enjoy these for the most part. Obviously, there's some things I like better than others. But I'm also a fan of, I don't think everything needs to impact the whole year. Like Hawkeye, I just enjoyed. I was like, the whole time I was like, there's no bigger implications. This is going to be the one that changed it. And I think that just led to why I just enjoyed a fun little ride. And it was cool that Kingpin was in it. I was like, that's awesome. But to me, it's like, now we're in the trap of everything has to lead to the next big thing.
Right.
And it's like, no, like, we can just enjoy. And that's what I'm hoping, like, Thor is. That's what I'm hoping a new Guardians is. I hope it's these standalone. And I think that's the thing that speaks to it. The Marvel movies that are standalone, could be on their stuff, like Guardians of the Galaxy. One of the best ones.
Yeah.
Because, again, it's this... Even if you saw none of these other movies, you could watch Guardians of the Galaxy, and you'd still enjoy it as a movie.
Yeah, it's standalone.
And now it's so, you take Doctor Strange, for example, you're at the point where you're like, ooh, I, A, maybe didn't watch everything, or B, I watched everything a long time ago. I don't quite follow.
Right.
And so I think they need to focus on making something that would be good by itself. But then if it connects to everything, awesome.
Yeah.
Because like Thor wasn't connected to the universe until the end credit scene, where Thanos' ship shows up. Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And Thor incredible. Captain America, the Winter Soldier. on my list from last week, one of my favorite ones was a movie that, even if you didn't see any of it, you'd pick up. I know Captain America is. He's just a super soldier, and now he's fighting this guy. And granted, maybe you need to see the first one to know that Bucky was his buddy. But again, I just think that's a great movie by itself.
I didn't see the first one, man.
You're able to pick up.
Yeah. And I'm dumb as shit.
Yeah, we talked about earlier. Your remedial classes. Your remedial. Yeah, the Gilead.
I stand by the Gilead.
The Gilead. But I would definitely say, yeah, I mean, you're not stuck in a trap where it's like everything has to connect to something. Yeah, but even parts of Shang-Chi, I feel that's why I enjoyed that one, because Shang-Chi was just this kung fu movie that was a separate thing. And I know you hated when the dragon showed up at the end.
It was a fine movie until Godzilla at the end.
Yeah.
So dumb.
Mm-hmm.
It was so dumb.
But Thor's next.
I'm excited for Thor.
Excited for Thor.
I love Taika Waititi. Taika Waititi. Taika Waititi. Big fan. Have you seen his other works?
I've seen What We Do in the Shadows. It's hilarious.
What We Do in the Shadows is one of my favorite films of all time. We should do a podcast on that.
What We Do in the Shadows. I want to watch it again. We gotta find a watch it. We should do an episode about that. Hitler's My Imaginary Friend.
Jojo Rabbit.
Great hilarious. What else?
And very touching, poignant at times.
It was.
I just watched Where the Wilder People
Hunt for the Wilder People. I haven't seen that one yet.
Wilder People. It's very good. Definitely worth watching.
And he's directed some Mandalorian episodes.
Mandalorian was something I couldn't get into.
But
maybe I will for this podcast. Because I'm committed to us.
You have to.
And I'm committed to our
we
content.
gotta get through all the Marvel movies at this point. Like, you gotta get through all of them.
I just don't want to.
What if we just broke it down? We'll get a little notepad. We'll take notes.
I just don't want. There's so many movies I haven't seen.
But
it's like a huge. Like before you start a long show.
Yeah.
You're intimidated.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I don't want to start this because I don't want to get through it. It's like that.
I get it. You're intimidated.
And I know 75% of them I'm not going to like.
Probably true.
So why even?
Probably true.
But if we're doing this podcast,
you gotta do it.
I need to know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. You can't,
or not, because I forget about them in 6 months. I totally forget what
you can't. You can't on a podcast where we talk about Marvel movies go, oh, I've never seen Iron Man, because everybody was like, I'm turning this off.
Yeah, we did. Our biggest note was Aaron needs to watch Iron Man.
More Iron Corn content.
How many corns would you give
Iron Man?
No.
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Boo.
I would give it a whole cob.
A whole cob.
In my opinion, it's still a whole cob.
That whole cob.
Even though we brought up points where I'm like, maybe bad writing on some parts. Overall, the experience I had with it, loved it.
Okay, I'm gonna ask another question. Give me a corn score for Marvel Universe and a corn score for movie. See what I'm asking?
As a superhero movie and then an outside superhero movie?
Yeah, like in the realm of cinema, where does it stand versus in the realm of Marvel? Where does it stand?
I think the thing about it, I explained to you why in my realm of cinema this movie stands out. Because my argument that 2 series had to fail, had to succeed enough and then fail for this to happen, I think as a cinematic thing, that should speak for itself, that there's not another movie like that.
It doesn't make it a good movie. It just means that they made a movie at the right time.
You gotta think, the Fast and Furious movies. That's showing you can pump out some shitty movies.
Yeah,
I don't care about those. But to me, I enjoyed this, and I enjoyed the other ones enough that when the other characters were brought back, I cared about them.
So you would give both scores a whole shuck of corn.
Yeah. Oh, shucky.
Oh, shucky ducky, baby.
Shucky ducky.
You didn't ask me, but I'm going to answer the question.
I don't really care about your answer. It's the reason why I didn't.
You might be interested.
Oh, if you had to give this some corn, how much corn would you give it?
Marvel Universe or cinematic?
Marvel Universe first.
Marvel Universe, I would give it 3/4 of a corn.
3/4 cinema world.
Like half a corn.
Half? Not as bad as I thought.
See, I told you you'd be surprised.
But now, outside of Infinity War, though, you don't really think that the Marvel movies
Are good? No.
cinema.
No. I mean, okay. I
But-
don't want to say they are cinema. I appreciate for what they are.
But
How they are made and what they do is mind-boggling to me. They're huge movies that are impressive.
and that's another thing about it. After this took off, so many people are trying to do this and just crashing and burning.
Yeah, they have a formula and it's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, they lack in story, which to me, story is the most important part of anything.
Mm-hmm.
And they just don't care about story. They just care about big explosions. It's like the Fast and Furious movies. So
Don't ever
to me, they're about the
say
same.
that again.
They're about on like any Transformer, any Fast and Furious, any Marvel movie. They're all about the same. Just watching
Unfortunately,
shit blow up.
we made it to 202, and Aaron lost me today.
Well, anything else you want to talk about? Spider Boob?
Spider-Man.
Spider.
Do you want to talk about any more funny Spider-Man movie? We got Teddy Roosevelt Spider-Man. Who's your favorite president?
Tom Cruise.
Yeah! Well, sir, you want to know what my favorite president is?
Who's that?
You know who William Howard Taft is?
See the fat guy?
He's the fattest president. He got stuck in the bathtub.
Is that a true story?
That is true.
How are you that fat?
The big old boy.
And how do you get somebody out in that time and age?
They had to break the tub.
Who did you just holler out?
It was-
Ma!
His mom probably wasn't in the White House with him. He was like, "Oh
Was he
dear,
married?
it seems I've been stuck in the tub."
Big Charlie Goose!
He was married.
Was she fat?
I don't know. Probably.
Is that fat shaming?
Yeah.
Sorry.
But he was a boxing champion at his college.
Really?
Do you want to know some more fun William Howard Taft facts?
Not really, but I just
He was
read about
also
to hear
the
him.
Chief Justice of the Supreme Court.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Before or after he was
After
president?
presidency. He's quite the figure, actually, if you study him.
That's it. That's fascinating. I didn't know that.
His presidency, he went golfing a lot, so people don't regard him as a great presidency.
What year was he president?
He's right after Teddy. And I like to say that Teddy was like the beginning of the 1900s. And then, he lost to Woodrow Wilson. But he only lost because Teddy left and said, I'm not going to do this again.
Yeah.
But then got so upset when William Howard Taft was just the president in general that he's like, I'm coming back. And they were like, we're not giving you the nomination for our party. He goes, that's fine. I'm going to make my own fucking party. And he made the Bull Moose Party. And the two of them took like so many votes away from just the two of them just being fucking
Dickheads.
fuck you to each other for their parties. That like Woodrow was, I gotta, because now I don't want people to tell us we're wrong.
Yeah, we are going to get a lot of hate mail. I'll vamp while you're doing this.
Yeah.
Listen, there's been a lot of talk about different types of corn lately, and I just want to set the record straight.
Ladies and gentlemen, we were correct.
Oh.
Theodore Roosevelt, William Howard Taft, and then Woodrow Wilson.
Look at him go.
Mm-hmm. Now, here's a fun game we're going to play.
Yeah.
Name a president that was president any time between 1850 and 1825.
1850 and 1825.
Anybody. It could be anybody.
Thomas.
Thomas is a pretty darn good guess. We'll go through it.
Thomas.
We said 1850, right? So we'll start right before Lincoln. Because Lincoln was 61. So even though we shouldn't count these two, we should technically start on Millard Fillmore, James Buchanan, Franklin Pierce, Millard Fillmore, Zachary Taylor, James Polk, John Tyler, William Henry Harrison,
What the hell are we doing?
Martin Van Buren,
We've gone 2.5 hours and we've gotten to presidents.
John Quincy.
Nobody listening to this podcast wants to hear you read off presidents of the United States.
Those of you that are listening,
No.
write in.
They stopped listening a long time ago.
Write in. Are you going to edit this part out?
No, I'll leave it in there, but no one's going to listen to this.
I want you to split this up into 2 parts.
We're going to have a 3-parter?
No. Split this episode up into 2 parts.
Oh, well, yeah, we already talked about that.
Yeah. And then when someone listens to part 2, they're going to go, because they're going to be so impressed that off my head, I just knew the whole...
Listen, the audience should know you're a very smart man when it comes to history. You got a degree in it. You know what you're talking about.
But I bet you would be surprised the presidential files.
I just
like how bibliophiles are people that like books.
Yeah.
And pedophiles are people that like kids. There's probably an untapped presidential market out there.
I don't think there is, and I don't want to hurt your feelings by saying this, but I think
I bet you'd be surprised.
Maybe 1 in like 600 people.
1 in 600 people?
Yeah.
Do you know how many people there are in the world?
Yeah, but nobody in Russia cares about our history of presidents.
How many people in there? There's 7.
Look up people in the United States.
Okay.
Above the age
and
of...
Mexico. We have listeners in Mexico.
Oh, yeah. But they don't care about American presidents.
You don't know
Above the age of...
Above the age of...
Yeah, 2-year-olds don't understand presidents.
God.
Above the age of, what? 16?
I knew about presidents before I was 16, but okay, whatever. Alright. We're still at 329 million.
Okay, divide that.
By 600?
By 600.
Let me get a phone out, because I can't do that math in my head.
But then you have to divide that by the number of listeners we have.
No, I don't. 329 million divided by 600. Guess what? That's a demographic of 5,000 people we could be getting to right now that you
really
just want
to
ignore. If you want to hear more president content, write in.
No, don't. I will not be responding to that. I think we're done.
Yeah.
I think we did it.
You want to end on something cool?
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't have anything cool. Remember, I'm not the funny guy.
Spider-Man.
I'm sort of the Groot guy. We have our Hawaiian shirts. Next week, we'll be back with more Hawaiian shirts. I'll probably be wearing shorts again.
And a new topic.
And a new friend. Roy will be making an appearance.
Is he? Am I not going to be here?
No. This is Macaulay's last episode.
What are you guys going to talk about next week?
We're going to talk about corn. And different ways to make
You're
corn.
not going to include... I've been campaigning for the corn episode since we started Two Corny Boys back in 1994. When we were born.
When we were born, they knew we were born for corn. Born for corn. That should be our new tagline.
That's our tagline. Born for corn. We should get a theme song.
I reached out to Adam for some music. I have a few.
Does he have some corn song?
What is a corn song?
Corn. Oh, sweet corn. Sweet old kettle corn.
Will you update our thing that I said born for corn?
Born for corn.
Keep everything out because I like what we have, but just also
hashtag born for corn. Yeah.
Well, folks, that's all we have. I really hope the camera lasted long. I have no idea if it did.
That's the red light's on.
The red light's on, and the red district is always on.
Wait, it says press flashing button to start recording.
Hit start to start.
Also, if you're just listening rather than watching, tell us if it worked with the camera on.
Yeah.
Tell us if it felt weird when the camera was off. Tell us if you'd rather us not. If you'd rather not see us. If we're just a couple of uggos.
And if you're still listening to a couple of us uggos, why? Why on God's green earth are you listening to
uggos?
2.5 hours of.
2.5.
I will say our second part 2 was much more serious.
Oh, we did. Does that mean we're riffing around too much in the beginning?
Well, honestly, I didn't think we'd talk for 2.5 hours. I thought we'd cap it at an hour. But we'll figure it out.
We should listen.
We'll figure it out. We're new to this. Oh, we're
not. We've done 202 episodes.
Oh, wait. We're still figuring it out.
Last week when you said, if people say they're new to it, I think it's going to suck. We've done 200 episodes. We're professionals at this.
Well, that's it for me. I'm going to leave. I'm Aaron, and
that's just
the way
the corn
pops.
shucks.
Corn pop. Pudding pop.
Put. When you start
signing out here.
impersonating Bill Cosby, it's time to call it a night.
Thanks for joining. We'll see you guys next week. What are we talking about next week?
We're gonna say it at the same time.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. U.S.
Corn.
presidents.
Oh.
You heard it here, folks. U.S. presidents that grew corn. Oh, Shrek. We can talk about Shrek next week.
Oh, they never met each other.
Oh no.
We got it. No one's listening.
Sorry, everybody.
Thanks for joining our casting call. My name's Aaron.
And I'm Macaulay. And you can go shuck yourself.